Hello out there, this is the Crepuscular Bronies Discuss, professional as always. Today's topic is spoilers in general, because of the current events happening in the last week about a certain very large spoiler, I don't know. We'll talk about this. And today with me, as usual, Byter.
Blog.
For the first time with us, Jacob Dickens.
Good day there.
He is usually hosting his own interview show, and yeah, I'll put a link in the description. And once again,
I know it's weird.
Hidden behind the demon dog staring into your soul, Skan120. Welcome back, Skan.
Hello.
Alright.
So, yeah, the big topic this week, the big spoiler topic,
Is good old Alicorn Twilight.
yeah, the big spoiler topic I predicted in my Crystal Empire review.
We should hear your "I told you so" speech.
I will try to keep. I got already contacted, and people were like, "You have to put out your speech right before your review." And I'll put it in one because
And sometime.
I will not make a single video just talking, just saying I told. But it would be funny. Just one 10-hour video. Me in an endless loop. I told you so. I told you so. I told you so.
Just for 10 hours.
10 hours straight. And
That's your entire speech, and at the very end it says, "Thank you."
After 10 hours. Thank you for watching.
And then your usual outro.
Was Alicorn Twilight leaked at that point? I know it was leaked very early on.
It was, I think, leaked by Entertainment Weekly.
But you're talking about the current.
No,
Sorry?
are you talking about the original link that nobody listened to, or the confirmed leak?
The confirmed link, I think.
That was actually leaked by the hub page.
Oh yeah.
They put a picture up there.
So,
I think it was Tuesday, Monday or
That is
Tuesday, I believe.
So when was this first link?
This first link was, I think, posted. People dismissed it. It was this long text, I believe it was, and it said stuff like how there was going to be an Alicorn Twilight and that Derpy was cut from the show.
Yeah, that was a Reddit post.
Yeah, and most people dismissed it. I showed it to my friends, and they said it wasn't true. So now one of the topics is confirmed.
Yeah.
So now I'm questioning if the whole thing itself was true.
Whether Derpy was cut as well.
But I don't think the whole thing was confirmed because all the guy said was that the hub was going to take full control over the show and
Yeah.
its contents.
Let's hope they don't. Oh, at least Hasbro not. Yeah, but the pictures of Twilight Alicorn have been around for, I don't know, I believe summer.
Fans have been posting up lots of Alicorn Twilight,
yeah.
but there has been stuff appearing up on the hub's website and whatnot that have been leaked.
The original pictures there was a toy leaked a long time ago.
Yeah.
But then again, a toy doesn't confirm a leak because we never did get Cadence's baby.
It's true. Strange, but true.
Yeah, so the other thing to do with Alicorn Twilight has been the controversy, or at least the noise that many of people have been making on the thing. And
Oh my god, Twilight has wings! Oh, the end is near!
I mean, yeah. Until we actually see the episode, it isn't much of a thing to get upset about yet. But I can understand why people could be upset or think it's a bad idea.
Well, but
I mean, it's a question of we're introducing a plot point to the show, and what does that plot point mean? Is it a good idea?
yeah.
And it's so close to the finale.
Isn't it the finale? I thought it was.
Yeah, I mean, they released the actual leak a few episodes before the actual episode that
But
leaked.
yeah,
takes
the
place.
finale is going to be the one with Alicorn Twilight, isn't it?
Yeah, I think.
Probably.
Probably.
They say.
So yeah, I mean, I think I can agree with people on a semioteric level that the symbolism or the use of a plot point of Alicorn Twilight, you could quite disagree with.
Yeah, there's different ways, but the thing you really need to look at is for the people who are actually upset about this, what is their biggest grief about it? Identify that, and then you can.
Well, what is the well? It's not. I mean, it's not just the causation. It's what is actually the most correct one. 50% of them could be upset about something completely meaningless, but the rest could actually be upset about a genuine problem with it.
Exactly.
That's the thing about this whole issue, that the people are upset before they don't know anything. Because, because it could probably be that she becomes an Alicorn thanks to the new gained Discord power, but she will only have wings and increased power and need about 3 more seasons to really develop that power. So she just get wings for now. So
at the most basic, at the most basic level, it's a change of her physical attributes as a possible plot point, where you're just bolting on a pair of wings. But it is more than that. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
This also raises a question of mine. Does this mean that Celestia and Luna were also possible unicorns before they became alicorns?
I'm not sure. It will depend how they address that in the actual show, and how Twilight becomes an Alicorn herself.
For that, we need even more info. Like, we need to know, well, when Twilight is raised, does she become immortal? Is Cadence immortal?
Yeah.
Or even the sisters immortal, or do they just live for like 5,000 years?
Yeah.
They still have another 4,000 years to go.
I mean, they do mention that highly magical unicorns are able to use age spells. So it could just be that at least Celestia is able to use age spells and does it on herself.
I mean, like, why would you need an age spell? At what point would you need an age spell?
When you're old and you revert yourself to be younger, therefore you live for a longer time.
So,
thus living for 1,000 years.
But with the actual Alicorn amulet we see, it only goes from young to old. We never see it go from old to young.
What?
Yeah, but it hasn't been. It's open world assumption as long as we haven't seen the.
You do it. They did it both ways. Yeah.
Twilight did it in her show, but this was all fake. So
yeah.
And she reversed a previously cast spell, so this is not necessarily making him somebody younger spell. It is probably just reversing the old one.
Except that Trixie believed that it actually happened. So unless she could do
it make one of the Snips or Snails a baby?
Ooh, okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That is right.
It made like one old, one young.
It's true.
So you got one with its old cranky hip and one crying.
Making somebody younger is possible then.
Oh.
In fact, she only makes one older once. She does the young thing 3 times and the old one once.
That's true.
So that's one way of explaining how they stay old forever, but it doesn't necessarily have to be linked to being an Alicorn. But going back to the Alicornness though, I can sort of agree though that it is a bit of a. It's not the best plot point that you could put into the show if it had any meaning. That what you're doing is you're saying, oh look, Twi's an Alicorn. I mean, but the show hasn't been about their physical attributes.
No.
The main 6, they don't really talk much about. The focus isn't them being Earth ponies or unicorns or Pegasi. There's never a time where they say, oh, one of the other 4 say, oh, if only I could use magic, or oh, if only I could fly.
This is an issue more often addressed in fanfiction, but never in the actual show.
It's kind of addressed in Sonic Rainbow with Rarity getting wings, but not fully.
Yeah, sometimes they have matters where, their physiologically is used, and sometimes they talk about it.
Can't get around it.
Yeah, it's never the focus of the show, and it's usually just something to be overcome or ignored very quickly. The focus is more on their characters, and I would say that, the good stories of the main 6 have been them as a group. Friendship is magic. And the plot point,
But there is something you can go into. There's a sort of subtle canon that a bunch of people believe it could be just BS, but a bunch of people have assumed that Pegasus don't just use their wings, they do have their own sort of non-active, faded by themselves magic. So
Yeah,
for the
but you
later
see
studies, she may need the complement of the two magics together.
Yeah, the only thing is that my point though is that the show isn't about their physical attributes. That it doesn't spend time thinking about. It doesn't tell us that that Pegasi have some slight magic to explain some of their abilities. That a good episode, the season 1 prologue, season 2 prologue, are mostly about the characters rather than their physical abilities, or at least the central arcs are. If you think about season 1 prologue, the whole point was, they go through a journey, and at the end, that Twilight, has that kind of revelation where she she realizes how happy she is to see the others, and what that means to her. And yep, they gain the power of Deus Ex Machina via the elements of harmony, and they win because they are such good friends. Friendship is magic. That plot point is that plot point, worked towards the kind of, friends, kind of happy atmosphere of the show, and yeah, it set the precedent that, they were able to use the elements of harmony because of that point that Twilight accepted her friends. That symbolically is sort of what the show's always been, sort of the framework things are being hung off, that we see, their friendships develop, or, friendship interactions. It's been about the people, rather than, particularly about their physical attributes. So when you make only Twilight have a physical change, I don't know, it makes it sort of, they before were a group of 6 equals, and now Twi is changed for some reason. And
it's the main character of the show who's changed.
But it's still about them as a group. And this plot point is just about Twilight. Before they were at least sort of equals. It was about all of them together.
Yeah, there was 2 Earth Ponies, 2 Unicorns, and 2 Pegasi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it was about the group, but one thing I can point out, and this is only an assumption, of course, because all of this is assumption, but we don't actually know that season 4, is about the whole group.
So yeah,
but
I hear that Twilight has to leave the group.
Rainbow Dash too.
And then Outrage.
Yeah,
most likely.
It might most likely Outrage, because what we've seen in the show, like I explained in the season 1 prologue, is them as a group. That the events that unfolded related to their friendship as a group. Sure, Twilight was the protagonist, and she is the most go-getter, but even like in Return of Harmony, all of them have their moments, and all of them have their own arcs. So, you're changing the focus of the story by starting to split them up and focusing on 1 or 2 characters. You're sort of breaking with the previous, feeling of the show of friendship is magic by having it just about Twilight, or just about
it has been a thing throughout season 3 that the tone is some kind of, or the concept became different. So
yeah, which is sort of why I don't know. I would say I haven't been so appreciative of season 3. Like, I like season 1, even though it was restricted by the EI rating. It still had Lauren Faust at the helm and had quite a. It was a cohesive piece of work that you could sort of see her hand from behind. It was sometimes a bit bland at places, but it got me involved in the group and the characters' interactions. And season 2, when Lauren left, took those strengths and, without the EI rating, went on even stronger. That we had the Return of Harmony and the wedding episodes, which were really quite good.
Yeah.
I really liked season 2 because it took previous strengths and built on them. But season 3, it feels very different, tonally speaking, from the other seasons.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Also, it's kind of sudden, the whole thing, because they say they're going to build up to it, But what we've seen Twilight try to make an orange into an apple. We've seen her spend a whole day studying books. And we've heard a mention of her trying out new spells, Pinky, let's get away from the mailbox. So
Yeah.
that's a really nice build up there. Not really.
But
I'm not even sure they are building up, are they?
they're probably trying to throw in very small pieces, but to be honest, they are too small in my eyes.
So small they could almost be meaningless or scraps.
Yeah, it was such a big promise in this Crystal Empire with this whole, is she ready? Oh, we don't know, and here's a book we show for a split second, and...
Yeah, if they were going to make that an important point, what next episode the book comes in and she says, here's the book on doing X.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I need to work towards doing X. I'll read this book. And she reads it, and then next episode she tries to do the spell. I don't know, even you don't have to do that much, but at least then it actually feels like it is, we can trace something going on through it. Whereas at the moment, we see Twilight doing magic, which involves her training, but she's always been training to do magic.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen, what was it, even in like Feeling Pinky Keen, I don't know, well, Magic Jewel, she does, that's it, yeah, Magic Jewel, she says how many types of magic there are, and she's practicing with Spike. Yeah. Well, that's obviously not the same training. It's very similar to what she was doing with the oranges with Spike again.
Mm.
Yeah, but I only mention it because I know there was Twitter posts and stuff from the staff saying that they were going to do a subliminal arch of something to do with Twilight's training. We just thought it would be a little more prevalent.
Yeah, they've shown Twilight train, but they haven't shown it to be of any importance yet.
Mm.
Yeah. Should we go back to the Alicorn Twilight? I mean, it's just, we have a universe where you're doing physical change where physical differences don't matter, or at least it's kind of an idyllic world where people don't spend time considering it. Yeah. We have a dynamic before where everyone used to be equal, but now one of them is going through great physical change, and it implies, if it's a plot point, that you're becoming better by being a Alicorn.
Mm-hmm.
Or that, the power dynamic now is different because suddenly you're an Alicorn. And I mean, isn't it you're being an Alicorn? I think people assume when you become an Alicorn, you become a princess. Now that hasn't been built up to at all.
Yeah.
It's more or less the same thing until now, because all the Alicorns we know are princesses.
Yeah, we assume they are. Because all that we see are,
But there is some info we're missing that was mentioned in the spoiler article, which is they say princess is not exactly what we think it is. They have a different definition of it that will be revealed.
Okay, so they're still trying to throw a few teasers in there.
What? So they're actually going to try and relate being an Alicorn to being a princess?
She is going to become a princess, but they said a princess is not exactly what we think, that it's a ruler of the country or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Whatever that means.
Yeah.
A bit like Adventure Time princesses.
And if she is going to become princess, what's going to happen to Princess Celestia and Luna? Are they still going to be there, or is...
Well, I mean, we already have 2 princesses ruling. Why can't you just have 3?
We have already
2 heads of state. You now have 3.
Shoot, but what's Twilight can control? Because Celestia controls the sun, Luna controls the moon, and Cadence controls is Princess of Love. What is Twilight going to be?
Yeah, there are series, endless series on DeviantArts, so
it's kind of about the
Celestia wants somebody who can do all her stuff without dumping it on them for a change.
She did that in Crystal Empire. Twilight, do this for me.
She'll become the princess of paperwork.
That's the reason why I am not a big Celestia fan. Should I show my chart again?
Oh, hail the Lunar Empire.
Yeah, no, not this one.
Lunar Republic.
Lunar Republic. That's what it was.
Lunar Empire.
There's probably an empire out there.
That's a comprise. Yeah.
There's probably an empire out there for Cadence.
I'm not even.
We just have to find it.
it's kind of it feels a bit odd to me that even Twilight is so suddenly going to become a princess at all. She's not yet princess material.
Yeah, that's a good thing because now we are still have some material left for the for the
Well,
fourth.
I've seen that.
Hmm?
I see your face in lawful neutral.
Yeah, that's where I put myself. So
All right.
snuck myself in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure that the princesses have always been in the show sort of more the parental or authorial figures. They've always been the ones of authority, and now Twilight is just sort of you click your fingers and now you're an Alicorn, so you must become a princess.
The thing is, everything went well when they introduced Cadence because Cadence had always been a princess even when she still was a young one. Because when we saw her full sitting Twilight,
she says, I'm just a regular unicorn. You're a princess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She has already been a princess when she wasn't a full grown-up Alicorn.
Yeah, they've always been princesses, and they act very much like princesses. And now you're trying to make someone a princess by, at the same time, you're changing their physical attributes, maybe because of it. Which, it feels a bit weird symbolically.
I've heard that in original things heard from Lauren Faust, her headcanon for the whole series, that there was only supposed to be 2 Alicorns ever.
Yeah.
And now there's going to be 4.
Pretty much.
And unless they have something happen in the Crystal Empire that requires an Alicorn and the other 2 can't, there really was no point to Cadence having wings.
Yeah.
We have been at this point before, haven't we?
There's really no point to Cadence except for the fact that Queen Chrysalis was supposed to take over her wedding. That was about it.
Yeah, but she easily could have been an unicorn.
Could have been like, well, what was the guy in the Grand Galaxian Gala?
Blueblood?
Prince
Blueblood.
Blueblood.
Yeah,
Prince Blueblood. He's a
Blueblood.
prince.
He's a prince and he's
And-
not an Alicorn, so...
Just a unicorn, yeah.
Exactly. So you can be royal
And a
without
douche.
having wings.
Yeah,
But
he
that's the
was a
question.
douche.
Which also makes the question: why is he the only prince in all of Canterlot?
Because there seems to be like 1 male for every 10 females.
True.
So we have to
a lot
have
more
about
princesses, yeah.
Yeah.
10 princesses. Yay!
Well, 9
Oh, okay.
princesses. We have 4 at the moment.
We got the
You're an
main
Alicorn.
6.
You're an Alicorn. Everyone's an
Yeah, look,
Alicorn.
we have the three princesses we already have. We have the main 6. We already got 9. Here we go. We know where
You just need 1 more.
Oh my!
I mean,
God.
obviously that ratio isn't set hard in stone, and not a point of the show.
No. This is probably set in stone. But
I'm sure Hasbro at some point will have some kind of grand prince to come in, and grand Alicorn prince to come in and romance Alicorn Applejack.
That's
Season
what-
15.
that's what to go. I want to see Princess Applejack working on the sweet apple anchors.
Just
Yeah.
flying up and picking all the apples.
What do you guys think?
Also,
I
I
mean,
think this new Alicorn Twilight will cause the extinction of the friendship letters because there's really no point to sending it to Princess Celestia anymore.
Well, we have
It
to.
does
see
feel,
where
yeah, it does sort of ruin that kind of student-teacher dynamic that they've always
does.
had.
No more faithful student.
The fact that one's more powerful than the other, now they're both equally powerful.
Yeah, but I guess they probably will go there that she still has a lot to learn as an Alicorn, so she still will.
And there may be the fact that the other main 6 may send letters to Celestia. Or maybe even Twilight.
Yeah, I saw pictures about this as well.
It's
Also,
just
what will happen to Spike? Will he go back to Canterlot? Or will he stay at
Very,
the
very
library?
they'll stay in the same plot probably.
So yeah, but that's by the way that's a main issue I have with spoilers, except for getting stuff spoiled, what I really don't like. that's the issue, that everybody, just because there is this kind of information that leak, that everybody is going nuts about it and like, whoa! Some are going in full panic mode, others are just, spamming fan fiction and DeviantArts with all stuff, and
it's kind of hard to avoid and turn up into it blind and then get properly outraged at it.
The only way not to have known that Twilight's going to become an Alicorn is to not have gone on the internet at all.
Yeah, and this since when started the wave? Thursday?
If you had only come on for, non-pony related, stayed off the pony forums and YouTube, you wouldn't have found
True.
But you're a brony, so you're going to see those sites.
If you're on a brony site, you're going to see some Alicorn Twilight and someone raging about it.
Because everybody is talking about it. When I saw the very first video about this whole mess, I was like, I'm just ignoring this. It doesn't happen. But then there was a video by Saberspark, a video by Brony Curious, a video by Golden Fox, and
a video by me.
Yeah. Everybody did a goddamn video on it, and
most were just addressing the rage.
Yeah, exactly. But nevertheless, you still got the spoiler. You couldn't ignore that Twilight will turn Alex.
All the titles are like Alicorn Twilight exclamation.
Yeah, this too.
Just reading the title gives it away, and that's that's as far as I've been spoiled. But even the concept itself, I can appreciate why people are being upset about it. It's just a shame. I'm sort of interested, maybe after the fact, someone comes up with a detailed video in the context of the season finale to examine the semiotics of the previous seasons and how Alicorn Twilight could break or doesn't break said symbolism.
Yeah, but it's all speculation. They're all making a big fuss about nothing. At least nothing they know about.
Well, I say
the panic comes from not knowing exactly how they'll do it, because with this thing you do have to spin it right, otherwise it will fall on its face.
Yeah, it's a plot point, and I think there's many ways it could be wrong. A lot of ways it could be wrong.
But that's exactly the problem with spoilers. Wow, why did they put out this information so early? They are not helping anybody. They're not even. The problem is, if they because they released this information 2 weeks early, now everybody thinks about it a lot. Everybody, the anticipation rises, and now they have a hard time to produce anything that will satisfy the people, and the backlash will be there. So it's short-sighted. Sorry.
It depends. It depends on how actually. Whenever I look at the episodes, I always take my weird objective view. So I can always say this bit doesn't work, that bit does work, or this breaks with previous established law. So we can still make those arguments. When people are making emotional-based arguments, then their emotions aren't going to be as valid as they could be.
People have been telling me that the fandom's dying, and I tell them, we survive a Derpy fiasco, we can survive Alicorn Twilight.
It depends.
I think the biggest problem with that was also a time thing. It wasn't exactly them changing it, it was them changing it and telling us 3 months later why.
True. I hope that's not the case here. They show the episode, and then 3 months later they come out with a statement saying why they changed Twilight to be an Alicorn.
No, this is the opposite. They've released it majorly early this time.
Yeah. So we got time to soften the blow. Although, admittedly, if we take a similar example like Mass Effect 3's ending, there was a lot of noise being generated about that a few months early. And people were still absolutely outraged at it when it came out.
There is an interesting question in the chat from, I guess, MLP Snow Kitty.
Hey, NY Pony, can I ask you something? How long do you think MLP will last?
I guess the question goes to everybody.
What, you mean the show itself or the fandom?
Yes, that's a good question.
This is an interesting sub-question, actually.
We can do both, I guess.
I guess you have to say something so we can see the picture in big.
Oh my gosh, we got 7 new comments. What?
Don't panic. Yeah, that's a good one.
I guess I can start.
Big friendly green letters. Yeah, whatever.
Personally, I think the fandom will last much longer after the show will last because we will continue making fan art, fan fiction. Like, for example, the Star Trek series, the show series ended, and yet fandom kept on living, and then they finally came out with some movies. So I think our fandom will keep on going. But the show itself, I'm not sure. It may end when people have no ideas left, or when they finally resolves a big part of the plot. I'm not sure.
Skan?
I don't think this fandom is going to die, especially since, as surprising as it is, a lot of the fans don't like the show. There are a lot of people in here who like the art, they like the music, but they actually find this show pretty kiddish and don't like it themselves.
Sometimes, especially the theme song, that applies to me.
Theme song here as well.
They need to change the theme song.
I just skip it usually when watching.
Yeah, same here. That's the thing about this whole. What actually got me interested in the fandom, actually watched the series first, but something that got me into the fandom was the first Bronies React to video. When Bronies react to teens react to MLP.
Oh my goodness!
I am so sure. Did you know there was a fourth video? Did you know there was a fourth video? There was teens react to Bronies. There's Bronies react to teens react to Bronies, and then there was non-Bronies react to Bronies react to teens reacting to Bronies.
Inception. Anyway, that's actually how I got into the fandom too. I watched that same exact thing.
Interesting.
And then I decided I might as well watch the show, and now here I am.
Yeah, I actually had already been watching the show at this point, but this got me interested in people like Saber Spark, AC Racebest, and so on.
Soulrack.
Yeah. So. What was the funny thing about this and the theme song was, I am pretty sure these teens had already seen the theme song. They just got shown the theme song, and yeah, this sucks, and I can understand their reaction.
Yeah,
so.
There were some kids, and then I remember the next episode, next Teen React, there was a kid who was wearing like a 20% cooler shirt.
But actually. No, it doesn't suck. It's just too girly, I would say. It's nice, but you can't hear it every week. But the original question, how long will the fandom last? Yeah, it's...
On your comment about the obvious reason they're doing this is to sell the toys?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
She could be lying. She could be just covering them. But supposedly, Megan McCartney, I'm bad with names. Is that her name? McCartney or whatever, on Twitter said it was not Hub's idea, but hers to do this ascension.
Whose idea was it?
Megan McCartney or whoever. She's one of the big writers on the staff one of the ones running it. I forget her name. She's the one whose name is in the article about the whole thing. But supposedly she came on Twitter and said it was not actually the Hub's idea, but hers.
She hasn't even... she's the lead writer for the whole season, and she did say she had plans. If that's her idea, well, most people are don't really much agree with it. Yeah. Should I go... how long will the fandom last? The fandom is quite multifaceted, for one thing, and the reason people agree, involved in the show, is quite wide. But generally, I think, I don't think it's just animation quality or the artwork that gets people engaged in the show. That it was entertaining to many of us. That it got people engaged. That it engaged people enough to engage their creativities. So, I mean, I don't know. I've been looking at the recent fan art for the show, and it's I don't know. I feel there's a lot more of Chrysalis coming out, a lot more kind of just people making fun of the show rather than people just reenacting what was going on. before things, like take season 1, things were fairly bland, but people still got involved in the show, and they still enjoyed it enough. They still enjoyed the characters and the story and the slight sprinkle of humor enough to go back to their computers and do fan art and look at other people's fan art. But now the show, it feels like it's probably on a downwards turn quality-wise. And in that regard, people aren't going to be just so naturally creatively involved in it because the characters don't feel so good and the stories aren't so good. Instead, all we can do is sort of go, oh, yeah, Spike's Dragon Code was kind of silly, and do a comic of it. They're still wanting to create, but the flair, the passion that Lauren put originally in there has sort of burnt out, and that was sort of felt through the Bronies. So how long will the fandom last? It depends on how long the show is going to be, what the level of the quality of the show is, and how it will continue. So we got kind of a graph up here, and then it drops down, and it stays like that forever. Well, the fandom itself, it sort of springs up and up and up, and then when it goes down here, it stays here and slowly drops off. That people are slowly going to become more disinterested as it as we just keep having more episodes coming in one after another after another. So I think the fandom, how good it is, depends on how good the show is. What will happen to the show in the long run?
Yeah. Now, so for me to go last on answering the question, about the show, it very much depends on how much will Hasbro continue to screw things up.
Yeah.
If they realize, there were some issues with season 3, and if they continue this course and they actually start losing viewers and paying fans and stuff, or that the fans are not going for the merc anymore, and they will change directions and probably go a bit more back to the roots.
If, for example, there was something really egregious, I don't know, maybe even worse than Alicorn Twilight, then there would be like a huge uproar from the fandom, and they might have to listen. But they didn't listen to Derpy.
It is bad. We don't know anything about Alicorn Twilight.
Well, you see, that's the point I made with Alicorn Twilight is at least the semiotics of it, of the siblings of it feels like a weak point compared to the rest of the 2 seasons.
Well,
that in most ways you implement it, it's weak and it doesn't work well with the established canon.
But for the show, it depends. How long the show will last, I guess, depends on how the producers take care of the show, how they do it the right way. Because if they crash it soon, then when they see they don't get any money out of it, they will cancel it. If they get back on track and show has a new renaissance, then probably can last for quite a while. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know how Hasbro will act.
Sooner or later,
the main issue I think the main issue with the show for me hasn't been the animators and storyboard artists are still doing their job. They're still the great people that made the show in the first place, and they have gotten a lot better at it. Or at least I hope so. But it would seem so that they now have all the art assets, and they've got pretty good at churning out this content. It's the story direction and the writers that I think have taken the turn for the worse. And that thing can change because we have with My Little Pony, it's been they've always had contractual writers, isn't it? People. There's no dedicated writers. It's just who you can get on contract to write this episode.
They changed once, they can change again.
Yeah, that's the thing that I've been saying about season 3.
All of the worst.
That season 3 has the. I don't know. It's had my least favorite writers on it, and the good ones haven't been around so much.
For everybody to read in writers' written reviews on DeviantArts. Go on.
Yeah, and we've had more of Dave Polsky back, who likes his slapstick, and this time he has been allowed to do full slapstick, which I don't think the show has really done tonally before.
That's true. But to finally wrap up the question,
yeah, we always keep going off topic because it's quite a large question.
We.
What is this we you speak of?
To answer Mike, the question how long I think the fandom will last, I guess, let me say about 70 to 80 years. Because who is now a real fan of it will not become, I guess, will stay kind of a fan.
Fandoms do have staying power, even like Trekkie stayed around for quite a long time after it jumped the boat.
I'm not sure if it will pass on to a next generation of television viewers, but I guess people who are now really in the fandom will, even if they become more passive, will continue being kind of fans. They will still have their plushies if they own some. I don't. But, well, people have it.
Yeah,
I have my Doctor Who's plushie upstairs.
Nice.
Yeah, the current direction, I enjoy the fandom stuff more than the actual show, because the actual show is a bit of a letdown at the moment.
Yeah.
Who's got the clap?
Oh god, somebody figured out how the applications work.
Yeah.
Only question until we have.
We don't really want too many, dude. Let's get tired too quickly.
Yeah.
How long do I think it will last? I think it will die off if the trend continues. That people will get more disinterested and move on to other things.
Well, here's a little hope. This big twist is being done by M.A. Larson.
Yeah. It'll be fun. You know, it'll be funny if it was just like you get the Mirror of Erised, you see, Alicorn Twilight. I think someone did that in a comic.
The Rubber Fury 981 posted an interesting point. I say 6 seasons. Both Foster's and the Powerpuff Girls shows Foster's has worked on have 6 seasons. I say Friendship is Magic will be the same.
Did Faust work in both of those for the entire length, or just for the first season for both?
I'm not sure, but I think that Friendship is Magic will last much longer because it has a much bigger fandom than Foster's and Powerpuff Girls. Because you don't see that many Foster's and Powerpuff Girls fan-made music, or even a fan-made episode.
It has a lot bigger fan base.
Yeah, but that's not their fault because they didn't really have the access to the internet that we did when we exploded. I've met people. There's a big chance that things like Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers and stuff like that would be huge fan bases right now if they had the internet access that they did back then. I mean, back then, if they had the internet access we have now.
This would be cool.
Yeah, the other reason the show sprung up so much was just that the uniqueness of its visual aesthetic of My Little Pony actually not sucking. That got people to say, I'll check it out. How many seasons it goes for? It really depends on consumer buying habits for Hasbro's products, and I don't know those statistics well enough, or how they will pan out to give an accurate prediction. And it relates also to how long the hub lasts, and I don't know how long that's doing as well.
And why?
Wait, I'm screwing things up.
Oh.
Okay.
Stop screwing things up, and why?
I'm so sorry! Oh, god damn it, I shared the wrong part of the monitor. Nevertheless, I believe
M.A.
Larson, if one writer can turn around, except Lord Force of course, can turn around the season final, it's him.
Well, I'm not sure if I've discussed my opinions on M.I. Larson. I do like him as a writer. I think he does character interactions very well. The one thing I will say, though, is that the quality of his plots vary. Case in point, Super Side E Squeezy 6000. Interesting characters in that episode.
One. Oh, yeah.
But the plot itself, bleh.
You have to say something that we can see the picture in big.
You can click on the bottom.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I could
gone.
actually do so and everybody would see it in big, right? Let's test this with the evil.
The live stream will broadcast the one you're clicking on, isn't it?
Stream?
The stream takes a few seconds and we'll see if it will be big on stream.
Okay.
Oh.
But yeah,
yes! I can manipulate
shut down
what the stream is actually seeing.
Success!
yeah. I have confidence that Larson will write the characters and the interactions well. I'm not sure how well he will make all the plot points work out. Take, for example, even like Magic Jewel. Sometimes the characters did feel a bit off, but I think that was because he crammed so much stuff into that one episode when he should have trimmed some of it.
So we have to hope that after all, it is the season's final, though that head writers will also, or that that all of them will.
Oh no, not all of them.
The basic idea, and he's only the execution guy.
Well, he can take a good premise and make it really great. He did the Discord episodes, Return of Harmony, and that was all his episodes, I think. That he wrote it around Q. But Alicorn Twilight is Megan's idea, the lead writers, and she's giving it to Larson. So it's not his concept. You know, you're handing him a lemon. Will he make lemonade? I'm not sure he will. He'll make very good character interactions and a good story around it, but it's not his idea that he wanted to start with.
Yeah, just checking which episodes he made.
This isn't even my final form.
Ooh, wait, let's make it.
This isn't even my final form.
Dun dun dun.
I love that
Is that
image.
similar
Season
to?
3 now have sea ponies.
Yeah.
Sea ponies. I wonder if that's going to make an appearance in the series.
Don't.
Everybody keeps.
Don't wake sleeping dogs, please.
We've had enough merch pushed
I'm
onto
awake.
us in 13 episodes.
Not you, Skan. You can continue sleeping. I don't know.
Yeah. Though,
Yeah.
since it's a matter of the writing, it could be a situation that enough people whinge about it that, you know, Megan or whoever sort of picks up that people didn't like this new direction, and they may return back to form. And maybe Hasbro will give us our good writers back. I don't know. Hopefully Season 3 might be, you know, that one-off season. And luckily it was that one-off short season.
Personally, I don't like Meriwether Williams episodes. I just don't.
I think she's
I
getting
don't either.
better.
First,
She did great work on SpongeBob, but she's not doing really good on My Little Pony.
Weather Williams. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Actually,
the difference
what's funny
in tone.
about Mary Weathers is even with Derpy gone, you can still play the Where's Waldo game. She's got like 2 to 3 background ponies that are every one of her episodes except for the Wonderbolt Academy because she's up in the clouds. You always have that tourist pony popping up in her episode.
It's not the same as having Derpy as Where's Waldo, and that's been missing from Season 3 because Chop.
Yeah.
Okay, Wonderbolt's Academy is the only Meriwether episode I really like, and this is a very controversial one, as everybody knows.
Yeah. I've yet to really get an idea of what her writing strengths are yet. I just sort of feel that she doesn't write the characters interesting enough in her episodes. It's often a lot more about what's going on, and what's going on isn't that fun either.
You will.
Oh, hello.
And that's what I said about having the weaker writers.
So, for another nice one, what do you think that will happen if MLP if Nick or Disney bought it? I believe we already
The show will die!
Abandoned ship.
Abandoned ship!
It depends on how they address the issue. It's obviously what people. It's always what person's in charge at the time.
Can I reopen the old question about how long the fandom will last?
Disney,
The answer is
Disney does
until Nick or Disney takes over MLP.
But is MLP ever going to be taken over? Is Hasbro going to sell its intellectual property?
Maybe
think
Disney buys Hasbro as a whole. They are
Because I
doing
can
stuff
tell
like
you
this.
this.
Oh,
I
sorry,
can tell you
Skan.
this right now. Disney does not care about the fan base. We've got our
Yeah.
fanfics and everything. Star Wars had a much more complex universe, an incredible universe, not just by fanfic writers, but authors and everything. And the very first thing Disney is doing is chopping all of that off. making it all irrelevant to the series.
And Nick is more about pop culture references and bad slapstick humor than it is about good writing and funny jokes.
And the problem has been we've got slapstick writing in season 3.
Maybe
Oh no, they're looking at us now.
Oh gosh.
Well,
This is well, they're going the Nickelodeon route for bad slapstick.
in case Disney is actually watching, leave. What was it? Leave our shows alone.
I just found this
It's
video.
unfortunate though that we still have the situation. It's under the ownership of Hasbro. So. You know, we've still got, you know, our terrible overlord, big company, ruling over it, you know, that the decisions that are made about it are because they are marketing executives rather than, you know, artists or creators.
I, for one, welcome our new purple overlord.
Nah.
That's been going around.
What I would like would be like a return of Lauren, maybe.
Yeah.
Have her return and give direction again to the show.
By the way,
Everybody.
what is with I believe she left for her show about
The Galaxy Girls.
the Galaxy
Yeah.
Girls, the girls who are planets. Is it does anybody know where it is right now?
No.
I have no idea.
I don't think it's aired yet. Maybe it has. I
But
haven't.
it is in production, or
I remember she came to the hub or something with her with the Galaxy Girls problem, and then they showed her My Little Pony. They said, "What can you do with this?"
Yeah, and then she did her season 1.
And then she made this.
Yeah.
Corporate Commander.
But having her back would be great because her original direction, you know, made sure we kept off the... Well, at least it gave the strength that we liked in seasons 1 and 2. That we kept off the cheap, easy slapstick. Which we've returned to in season 3 for some reason. Well, we've started doing. What was it? You're quiet, really quiet.
Nice
Yeah.
comparison. Wait, make it big, make it big. Oh,
You're not showing us your screen.
yeah, I'm failing again. Hooray.
Failing.
Yeah, Corporate Commander strikes again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
here
I
we
mean,
go.
it's always been Hasbro that has been at the helm, even if even if it hasn't been obvious. It has been, that was sort of one of the amazing things about the show, at least from my perspective, that Hasbro wasn't completely evil in season 1 and 2. There was that bit with Derpy, but, you know, that's
But
one
that's
character.
understandable.
Yeah, at least the show wasn't soulless and wasn't completely about just selling the toys.
And the
Sure.
thing
They
is, I
probably
believe.
sold more toys because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
but
let
that's the irony. That's the irony that Hasbro doesn't get. Probably they didn't expect it to explode the way it did, so they didn't care about, so they weren't involved, so they didn't seem to be evil. The moment it started to expand, they became evil. No, they became involved because they think, hey, there's money coming from. Let's get involved to produce more money, not realizing that by this they are.
I know that
Killing us.
if you've read like Lauren's interviews and stuff, she pushed quite a lot when she was doing season 1. That she pushed for 20-minute episodes rather than 10, and to have some kind of arc through the season rather than none at all, because Hasbro wanted just completely serial, short 10-minute little videos with that had no, you know, just wasn't had any action, and she pushed for, you know, having a something of, you know, that would interest her while she created it. So she asked for total creative control, and they gave it to her. And when she had that, well, you know, she still always had to pass through what she was going to do through Hasbro, but they were good in the sense that when she said, "Hey, I'm going to do Dragon Shy," where they, you know, they climb a mountain and have their, you know, all those character interactions, and Fluttershy, you know, in the end talks down the big scary dragon. And Hasbro said, "Yep, sure, okay." Instead of saying, "Well, actually, could you set that in I don't know, Manhattan? Could you add a human? Why can't one of them randomly become an Alicorn? You know, they didn't do that. Instead, they let Lauren do what she wanted with the show.
Okay,
Yep.
stop arguing in the chat and chat.
Well, we were waiting. We were waiting for Byter.
Okay, that's polite. I agree. So
So,
the question was: do you think Derpy is coming back in one of the episodes?
Yes, or at least I hope.
I don't think they'll bring her back.
Yeah, I highly doubt that they'll bring her back after the last roundup, but I really do hope that they at least put her in the background again.
I think they are going to take the completely safe route.
Yeah.
They're going to kill our Derpy.
Yeah.
Because they are idiots who don't stick up for anything.
Didn't you all see it? She was on the train in season 3. She's gone to another town.
Oh,
She's catching up in her. Didn't you guys see the Let's Go Meet the Brony? She's catching up on her studies.
She's moved out of
Ponyville. Yeah, right. She was there in the audience. She was the only, I believe, the rest in the audience were all OCs, weren't they?
Yeah.
Only Derpy was a not OC, and maybe it was really her last stand. What is it?
Yeah, it's a real shame that I don't know why they're taking the super safe route though. Even just appearing as a background, you know, it's just a grey mare with sometimes a wall-eyed stare. So what?
Okay, now we're going all in. Rubber Fury believes that he or she heard a hint that Derpy will appear in the season's final. Well, we'll know in 2 weeks about this theory.
She'll appear selling muffins.
This would be great.
Which
And delivering the mail
really
at the same time.
It really is amazing how our fandom will take the fact that she says one line and turn it into her defining characteristic.
Hmm. Yeah, she'll appear in season.
We don't even know if it was her line in the beginning.
Yeah, it could. The storyboarders put it in for her. They put her in that scene. Yeah, we might see her in season 3 finale. They might try, explain why she hasn't been around that much. You just see a Derpy toaster.
Hmm.
Concerning Brony Debate's post, I think we discussed this a little bit earlier. I don't think it's necessarily true because they said the hub is taking complete control over the show. I think it's just like how NY Pony predicted the fact that she'll become Alicorn Twilight, and it came true. It's just an educated guess. It's not official.
Actually, I think everybody knew she'd eventually become an Alicorn. The big
I
plus
didn't.
is how soon
I didn't.
Oh, I was on board from the second episode.
Yeah, and
I saw it coming.
I didn't, because I didn't see that.
But we didn't expect it so soon.
Yeah.
Well,
we expected it in another season or 2.
I didn't myself, because at the end of the second episode, the final meaning was that they had power by their friendship. That what made them special was the elements of harmony, that they could use it. So it seemed to be going with the line "friendship is magic," not
friendship is magic,
rather than "Twilight is awesome." So Twilight becoming an Alicorn is along the line of Twilight is awesome. I mean, if you wanted to expand the concept, the setup of the season 1 prologue, what you do is you have the elements change with your main 6, that as their friendships and relationships develop,
actually now
harmony gains powers or loses powers, or it changes and evolves with them.
Now that I think about it, there was a bit of foreshadowing from the first episode about the fact that the rest of the main 6 got necklaces, and Twilight just got this huge tiara.
She had always had a special position.
Yeah, because they said the special one was magic. It doesn't mean that magic has to mean you're the one who comes to the Alicorn.
No, not necessarily.
No.
But do you see my point though? That the symbolism or the point of the that prologue was friendship is magic. Is the group together was strong, and they could power this Deus Ex Machina device, the elements of harmony. What you do next is you use that. You work around that Deus Ex Machina device, that their friendships as their friendships change or become stronger or something else, the elements of harmony, their abilities change as well.
Mm.
That seemed a natural way of sort of changing how things work. That as they became stronger friends, maybe they don't even need to wear the elements of harmony, or I don't know, someone acts in a very strong way towards their element or an element of someone else, and that changes how the elements of harmony work. So instead of just take for example, if we had the Discord episode, instead they are like fighting against Discord, and because he's escaped somehow. And for some reason they are much stronger friends, and when they use the beam on him, rather than becoming stone, this time because they are much stronger friends, it actually befriends him or something.
Now we are with the Care Bears, finally.
Yeah, but you see, it could, instead of just stonifying him, it could become a Care Bear ray. That the elements of harmony's abilities could change. That, I don't know, the elements of harmony don't have to just be a single one beam use weapon. You know, it could have been that you use the elements of harmony to, I don't know, use a more daily active power, or encounter power.
Oh well.
Is that from Twitter or something?
Yeah, M.A. Larson just tweeted this.
Just tweeted this? Okay.
The thing about Alicorns is you don't just get wings; they have to come from somewhere.
But this,
well, it's going to be a wave of magic wand, and somehow it appears.
Yeah, whatever.
Actually, I don't know how much you want to know about the plot synopsis, but there are suggestions of what the plot might be.
There's already an official plot synopsis.
Yeah, but I don't.
And it sounds
care
pretty
about
epic.
official plot synopsis because this is a good point for final statements about the initial topic. Spoilers. So because to wrap things up, I'll start with my final statement. My final statement about spoilers. Leave me alone with it. I don't want to get anything spoiled, because it's not only about watching episodes, going into episodes blind because don't have an altered idea of it. I really don't like spoilers because I just want to be able to enjoy an episode, a movie, or anything for the first time without having to, with experiencing the surprises, the twists, and don't worrying about it up front. So, yeah, I would appreciate if people would be more considerate about not spreading the spoilers all around. Yeah, next one.
I guess I'll go. I personally think that the Alicorn Twilight is okay with me. It's all okay.
And spoilers in general?
Concerning spoilers, I love spoilers, in my opinion. I'm the kind of guy who will start a topic about spoilers, even if someone doesn't like spoilers.
I saw this answer coming. No, but everybody, this is fine. Everybody should have the ability. Everybody should be able to experience spoilers if they like it. But yeah,
that's true.
Spoilers for me, it's got to be handled right. Good spoilers will only make the episode more enjoyable when you do it if it's done right, which is why sometimes movie trailers are better than the actual movie. And you just got to do it right, and also timing is key. This would have been much better a week beforehand than 3 weeks, which is way too much time, in my opinion. But then you got people like me who like to we like to figure out the whole thing beforehand with only a little info to go on, let our imaginations go. So if they just give us a hint, it's all good. But don't spoil anything big like they did in Star Wars Episode 1, where they showed Darth Maul's double lightsaber before they even put out the movie.
Yeah, good example.
Right, and me for last. I mean, what we've talked about as a consequence of spoilers is more the tone of this whole series. And I would say Season 3 has often seemingly dropped the ball. It isn't focused on what I liked before, which was characters, stories, and a slight splice of humor. In regards, and the whole point of the show was to have, them as equals, them as a group, and friendship is magic. Alicorn Twilight sort of feels the same way in the sense that they've dropped the ball, and this is all about Twilight. It is not. I don't see it as the thing ever foreshadowed earlier in the show. It's a poor direction to take, most likely. So, yeah, people have been making noise about it because it probably isn't a good idea, and season 3 hasn't really put me any confidence in it.
So, well, at this point, I thank you all for being here tonight, especially
my first Crepuscular Bronies.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
So I especially thank Skan for joining so very spontaneous.
Skan120.
After sadly Digibrony did not show up.
Yeah, but yeah, probably, you don't know. Well, and yes, thank you to you as well, Jacob Dickens. At some point in the future, maybe you will be here as well again, and I'll probably at some point join you in your interviewing show.
Also, you forget, the links to their YouTube channels will be down below, and to my DeviantArts page.
Indeed.
Exactly. Thanks a lot. Yay. Okay, everybody. See you soon.
See ya.
See ya.
Blarg.